up Eddie's mess. He was Anne had this little box with 3 of those little squishy balls that you can use for. Wow, Eddie decided that he wanted the box, so he has torn the box into little bits.
Oh no!
And then he went for the balls, which I don't know if they're good for him or not. So I've locked those up, but I left the mess so Anne can come home.
Oh no!
What her kitty did with her box of stuff.
So how is everyone feeling about this book? Because where's Miguel?
Miguel is sick.
Oh,
He's sick.
He is sick, kind of. We don't know what's going on. He thinks it's food poisoning. I think it's an ear infection.
I don't know. He just said he doesn't feel up to it today. Because I was like, dude, it's online. Just pull your laptop into your bed. We don't care.
Yeah, you're in your pajamas. Like, you can have a hot tea if you want. A hot toddy.
Soak in the bathtub. I don't care. Just like...
men, they don't go to the doctor unless there's blood coming out of their eyeballs. So,
exactly. Yes. And even then, it's iffy.
Yeah. Or they ingest eucalyptus oil. So,
Yeah, ingest the eucalyptus oil. Just swig that down with a little gin, and you're going to be fine. Speaking of Becky, you're going to be proud of me.
Why is that?
I like the herbal infused gins. Like the and all of that, and I'm kind of loving that right now. And
because you were not a gin girl.
I was not a gin girl, but I did also find a drink called the Singapore Sling.
Yeah, that's an old-fashioned drink.
It's back in style apparently.
Oh.
I tried to do it, but I don't have the ingredients, so we just have a white Italian dry wine and Lucy.
I just had
baby Lucy.
Water. I have my Maleficent cup.
Oh, love it. Okay, so I have a discussion list, and we're going to discuss some stuffs. Drake, he's being dramatic because mom's being in a book club and not paying attention to him.
Yeah.
Want to come and join the book club? Oh, now he's going to come join the book club.
Yeah, my son called me earlier and he was like, so Mom, do you have a few minutes? And I'm like, yes. And he says, because we're in the car and we need to reset. And I'm like, reset? So Collier, who's 9, is in the back seat telling him that, well, Dad, that this image, whatever, he didn't tell me what happened that caused them to go overboard. But Collier said he is sure that Grayson has given him an image that is going to stay with him for the entire rest of his life.
Oh, Drake is sharing his Star Wars.
Let me see. Is it Lego?
Lego he got from Aunt Vanessa.
Well, she was
nice.
Look at that. Okay, so what we're going to do is
that's cool.
We're going to start on this, like in the ground running, because I got a lot of points to talk about that.
All right. Was Vanessa just up with you?
Vanessa did not get a chance to. She came up to visit, but she didn't get a chance to finish the book because of life. But like right now, I know she's really busy with the surgeries being rescheduled and canceled.
Yeah,
right.
The world is on fire, and
so she didn't finish the book.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Vanessa in forever. I haven't seen her, and I live 5 miles from her.
Well, we gotta go pound on the door. But
all right, what's your point?
Get on my Audible, but I did not send her the password, so that's not my fault too. But like I've been doing Audible the last 3-4 books, and it works because when I'm doing my work at the wine club, I do it, and it's a lot easier. Which I would like to say, who picked the last book and why was that so darn depressing? Seriously, it was scary. It was bad. It was like I had nightmares over this.
Oh, the sower of the...
Yes. Oh
yeah, I don't... well, we talked about that before. I don't like dystopian fiction because that's partly it. It's depressing. I find no real value in
it broke my
dragging myself through that.
But with this one, I'm like, we're killing men. Okay.
Seriously, this book was like, you ain't shit, men. That was pretty much the title of this. Like,
we kill men.
Yeah.
what it should
Men
be
get
like.
murdered.
Literature libations, semicolon, we kill men. And that's pretty much what it should be. But
because this book was dark, but it was more airy dark. And it was like for women, it was appealing because it was like, especially in like 1790s, the late 1700s, you have these women like uprising. So we're like, girl power.
Kill the men. But it's like, wait, that's ethically wrong. But still, we're going to cheer. And I really did appreciate the fact that they did kind of like with all the light we do not see. By
light.
It is C. Where they did every,
which is actually becoming more popular. I went to Barnes and Noble to pick up some books last week.
Oh yeah.
And it was on the end cap, like must read. And I was like, I literally told the guy, I was like, we read that in book club a couple of years ago.
Aren't they making a movie of it? Maybe.
I hope so, because it was like such a good book. And I know a lot of people it's kind of like Girl Gone. Apparently, some people love it, some people hate it. Girl in the Train, some people love it, some people hate it. You know how I felt about this.
I know, I loved it, but I didn't like the ending.
I kind of guessed what the hell was going on in the first 5 chapters, but still, but we had the gin and tonics, Becky, for you.
Oh, that's so awesome! Thank you,
Drake.
All right, so Drake, let me see your Lego thing. What's that?
Fiction novel.
He is doing a dystopian fiction novel.
I've already finished the essay.
Yeah. So
what is it?
He at school they're doing Divergence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he is really excited about that because we're moving up to chapter books.
Chapter books.
I've already been doing
so much fun.
I know, and then I don't know. With the discussion guide, we have multiple questions, and I want to get to the nitty gritty.
Well, how old are you, Drake? Are you 10, 11, 15?
13.
How much? 13. What?
13.
That's
13
impossible.
3 feet tall.
And no, you're not 3 feet tall. But
4.7.
Okay, so like at first, I didn't know what to think about this book with the chapter readings. At first, I'm like, okay, we're going to be hopping around between centuries, but then 2 of them are 1 century and 1 of them is present time. I would like to say that Caroline annoyed me, but you know how I am. But she annoyed me to a certain point. I'm like, girl, find your place, find yourself. And then she did, which I was okay. She did. And Bachelor Alf was my favorite character. I would have to say, I want to go mudlarking.
Yes, me too.
Like they have pictures.
I know.
In where the
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, she went mudlarking. The author, here's her pictures of what she found over the years.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
so the author of this book, Chris, who wrote this book?
Sarah Penner.
Oh yeah, she went mudlarking.
Oh, many hours in the British Library reading all manuscripts, druggist diaries, mudlarking, pharmacopoeias. Like, she's done her research, so I'm kind of respecting that way up.
Yeah.
But I did find that it was kind of weird when I did the audiobook that all 3 of the readers were named Lauren.
I thought so too. Yeah. I thought that was very strange that their all name was Lauren, and then the letter that they found from the person that was on their deathbed, which they think was Miss.
Oh, the lady.
Yeah, the lady. It was October 22nd, which is my birthday. So I was like, what? I was like, this is weird.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, this is strange.
I'm really interested in this because she was looking at all these like apothecary notes and ledgers and stuff. I'm like, where can we find those? I mean, in Illinois, there's probably not that much. It's like rub poison ivy on them. I mean, that's all we have in the Midwest. Morning glory.
Yeah. I really like the mudlarking. Actually, my mom has always wanted to do that, especially in the River Thames.
Yeah,
that's because she watches a show that she follows these guys that do exactly that. And they do mudlarking and what they find. And then
Oh,
so she's like, that was on her, like, it's on her bucket list for years now. So when I started reading, I was like, oh, that's what my mom wants to do.
I love it.
I didn't even know it was a thing, or I might have tried to
I
do it.
had no idea. I'm like, I want to do this. Like, do they do this in the Illinois River, the Fox Valley? What can we do this in?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
go to yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
we can rut through it. And
Well, the problem is that we don't have centuries, literally centuries of history
all you
to,
find around us
to
is just
go through
Carolyn.
that. Now, you can go out on Lake Michigan, though. There's lots of shipwrecks if you know where to find them, but who knows where.
Oh, what was that song?
The wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Gerald.
Yeah.
Lungs full of water. It was.
I remember learning that in elementary school.
Oh, yeah.
I want to. So, which one was your favorite character, guys? Like, I think, in my opinion, I loved Eliza because she was so young and naive and full of like this bright light in between the character of Carolyn and Nella, where she was hopeful with it. And she was like, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to poison people. And I'm thinking,
Yeah, I liked her the best.
like, okay, this little girl's going dark really quick, but
yeah, well, that's another one of those books where you have to have that willing suspension of disbelief, because it's, a little far-fetched, but it was totally enjoyable, and I wanted it to be real.
And they had the whole like Wiccan theme with it. Like, I'm gonna go into the symbolism because they had the crone, the maiden, and the mother, like, going in with this because we had Nella, who was the crone, and Caroline, who thought she was the mother, and Eliza, who was the maiden. And with the whole thing with her menses and everything that was going on with this, she thought the ghost was possessing her. I thought that was very symbolic and really cool, the way she kind of twisted it between all three characters. So I thought that was really, really, really fun in a dark, twisted way. But I wanted, I'm like, does this place exist? I want to go to this place. I want to climb into the little cellar door and push everything and find the bottles, the books, and all of that. And it was so much fun.
It was. I thought it was really good, really enjoyable. And okay, so at the end, because we don't worry about spoilers here because we're assuming that people will have watched it or read it. But at the end, do you get the feeling that because there was that little bit of supernatural magic stuff in there, right? Do you feel like she made the right spell and saved?
I think she
what's her
did.
name, and then killed the husband, and now they're all and who it with Nella. She and Nella are living like happily ever after in a nice little female utopia.
I'm kind of wondering, like, there's another thing I want to touch is like when she finds the interview from Eliza, she says that Ella has always been by her side. Was that in real life or in spirit?
I think I took it as in real life. Like,
I did too.
Yeah, because Nella, she was about to go drop off the package at Lady Amaril's house, and she thought she was seeing a ghost, but really it was Eliza, and Eliza runs out. She's like, tells her, hey, I'm still alive. So that's where they kind of connect.
Right. I'm still alive. Take this now. Take this. Right into the formula. It was like, take this.
Yeah.
And then...
And it helped her. It saved her.
Yeah, she's like, this will save me. And then she did it. And I think that's the bottle that Caroline found was the one when Eliza jumped into the river, you know, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just kind of really.
But the way she said, the way they alluded to, she said something about her friend. She had a close friend who even recently had advised her on something. I can't remember now, and I already gave the book to somebody else, so I can't look it up. But
it's like that she confines with till this day in the interview.
To this day, something like that. And then the husband, you're like, well, she was like all in love with this husband, but they were both really young when they got together. And so the fact that the husband unfortunately died, but they're nursing him to the end, you're like, uh-huh. So you have to wonder.
That's how I was kind of questioning that too. It's like, because, well, they built the Thomas Pepper as like a really nice guy. He helped her with the magic book.
But they didn't get enough of the pepper.
Yeah, and then they said that they celebrated his life after he passed. And I was like, but he died really young and unexpectedly, like really quick. Like, this is the whole book, like how they talk about men.
Right. Well, you know, she did him in. She did him in. So he probably was not the nice guy after they'd been married for a while that she thought he was going to be. And
bye-bye. I'm like, is there going to be a book 2 where Eliza is done with the pepper? And she's going to make pepper
Ixnay the peppers.
Ixnay the pepper, and Nella's going to be there. Or did Nella pass away and she's spiritually guiding her? Or there's so much possibilities. But
I think Nella's there and Mr. Pepper is dead. And she's just got this son and life in the other town. And
I think what they said was Thomas Pepper, he died from like pulmonary, which is like something like, which is your lungs, correct?
That's lungs.
Yeah, but when he was a baby, his mom saved him.
So
because he couldn't breathe. So like maybe that caught up on him. Or there's a lot of things that you can kind of wrap your head around, like the idea of how you want it.
Given the way though everything was set up, you have to believe that he was a victim.
So
like where you kind of like, oh, he definitely cut it. And
in fact, I didn't even question that when I read it. I'm like, oh, he must not have been the nice little husband she
What did Peppers do? What did Peppers do?
And it would not have been uncommon back then. I mean, it was perfectly okay if you didn't like something, if you smacked your wife into the wall. I mean, that was just
like, and then it says in the historical note, the author states that in the 18th century and 19th centuries, the largest population of accused prisoners consisted of mothers, wives, and female servants. And I'm just like, what? Did women not get fair trial at this point? What's going on? Maybe they need a little bit of, beetle juice.
No, women didn't.
Yeah, it was like.
Apparently, it's going to be that way again fairly soon. I don't know.
I know.
We already have the new season of, well, I won't say it, but we have Margaret Atwood's happened again. And,
no. Yeah.
Yeah. But
there's another season. I only made it through 2 seasons and then.
Oh yeah, we
started into the 3rd, and I was like,
But I think this was a very cool book because, I love the multiple chapters. I love the ideology of people reading their own story, like we did with The Light We Do Not See, and Memento, which is one of my favorite movies. And it's something that where every character you see their own version of the story, or there's a different timeline. But with this one, I had a lot of questions still left. Like, did she leave him? Did she go back to Oxford? Did she continue studying what happened to Nella and Eliza? So I think there might be a second book because there was a lot of open doors.
Oh, there could be, I guess.
And I would I would love to. I was comparing this one a little bit to the 13 Tales. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was because we had that open door of what if, maybe, who knows, this might have happened. Twin is alive and the other one's dead. That kind of storyline. But with the Lost Apothecary, I did enjoy the fact that they did make this kind of a empowering female story.
Yeah.
Because I do love even though it involved poisoning people with eggs, and it's like, I love a good egg. Somebody can kill me.
Yeah, good egg with some gravy on it.
And it's going to happen. Put it on the biscuits and gravy with an egg.
I'm going to question biscuits and gravies now. Every time I have biscuits and gravy,
I'm like, is there poison in it?
It's not poisonous.
Yeah. Is it poisons? Is it not poisons?
I honestly agree with you, Sophia. I really like this book. I like how you had 3 storytellers. My favorite was definitely Eliza, because out of all three women, even though she was so young, she was the most familiar to me. Like the way that she thought,
Yeah.
she was very logical and she was very straightforward and she was
like
very brave.
Snappy wit.
And I was like, yes, man. The other ones, they were older, but they were so uncertain with themselves and with their situations.
Yeah.
But Eliza was
already thinking like 3 steps ahead, like, I want to learn how to do this. I want to be this. I want to do this. And it was like, okay, this girl knows what she wants to do.
And then she managed to get that one spell that,
she was determined and she went for it and she got what she was
got the ingredients and she made the made the potion.
I have been recommending this book to multitudes of people that come in as our wine club members, because I'm like, this book to me was a cross story between 3 women, cross story, and 3 different stages of life. Like you got the one where the relationship ended badly, the one who's going through a breakup of a relationship, and the one who's entering womanhood. So to me, this was kind of like all the stages of women all in one. But it's also a little dark, a little sweet, a little bonding in the females, where I was Eliza and Nella. I just love the fact that she saw her as a daughter figure.
And she finally got her daughter. Yeah.
Finally got her daughter after her daughter died. And that kind of like really broke my heart. That was sad.
Yeah, that got me too, because I was like, she's always searching for this daughter. She just
wants her baby, and here's little Eliza, and she's cooking eggs and killing the peoples.
It's like eggs, killing people, killing men. Okay.
Put a little gravy. All the gravy's spicy. It's got a little habanero in it.
I like this book. I like how it was jumping back and forth from modern day or current to back to the 1700s with Nella and Eliza. I really like how the author wrote this book when situations started escalating, and then she'll jump to the other situation, and then she'll jump right, like, when they were getting chased by the cops, and then at the same time, Caroline was actually getting questioned from the cops, and it was just like back and forth, and it was really good.
My favorite character was, I can't remember her name right now because it's been a long day.
Yeah.
But she was the map specialist at the library.
Gainar.
Oh, yeah.
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 I loved her. And I think that there might be a book 2 in this, because, I've been telling people, you got to read this book. I think there's going to be a series. I think this is going to be great. But the fact that they also did the maps and recipes, I have here our printed thing with recipes, and there was like more with the maps, and you even had a Thomas the peppermint water.
I seen that. It was like a tonic or something. Thomas Pepper's something tonic. Yeah, it's in the back of the book. I left my book in the car, but they have the recipes at the end of the book.
I did the audio book just because it's been, the world's on fire, and it's been a long. God, it's been a long year.
Yes, it's been a long 5 years.
God, it feels like, somebody owes me some Botox at this point. But there needs to be Botox or something. But we have the female empowerment theory of the book, the 18th century female beat them down theory. So I think this was definitely a female empowerment book, because it took 3 women and united them as one. Well, actually 4.
4. I would count Gaynard because
I would too. She was in it.
Oh, I loved her. God,
I loved her too, and it kind of reminded me of Eliza and Nella. Like they became instant friends, like companions, and like good for Gaynard for like sticking up to her friend when the cops were questioning her. Like,
I know,
like, right?
I got you.
You jumped in it like
I gotta go.
I got here's the notes. She was here. Toodaloo. Gotta go. Peace out. And it was something that I think was a very powerful message right now, that women need to stick together. And I am always like super feminist, and I love it. I do. But with this book, it was about friendship, family, and death.
Yeah.
What better
and
than
revenge.
Like you can be super feminist, but I am super feminist, but not. I don't know. I just think that when you get to anything, when you're in it, whether it's a book or a job or anything, I just think the best person qualified for the job needs to get.
Exactly. It's equality.
I am not one to say. I don't say, oh, like they'll be like, yes, go here because it's an all women run company and it's so good.
Even the original
they could be crap.
The original Gloria Steinem movement
of
equality.
But yes, women like everybody needs to be treated equally, and I don't care, black, white, purple, male, female, trans. I don't care. You should be
exactly, and like
you should be given the opportunities that you earn, whoever you are.
Nella stated, I will not kill a woman.
Right.
And I will not do that.
That's why she was so upset.
She was so upset, but the thing is, she knew that the scales were shifted at that point so far off that she had to protect females. And I really do appreciate that thought. But like, I also think that it was a form of empowerment that I really loved. And Devin is messaging. Do we have another?
Oh, she had I just seen it. She said that she missed the book club, but she had to take her dog to the vet. Aw, Devin.
Doggone it. Hey, text her and say it's still going.
Yeah, it's still going. You can jump on.
But I just think that this book really did enforce the positive aspect of female empowerment, like not the weird. I'm not going to make it. I can make it weird. I really can, but I'm not going to take her. But I think it was more about like in generalities when Eliza was about to be hurt by her lord, he, the lady of the house protected her, and to me, yes,
women protecting women, which was really
women. Right. Eliza was protected by the lady of the house. Nella protected her from. It was always protected, like the.
Well, that was the whole premise, though, of what they did,
and I love that.
Like, I did too. I enjoyed that very much.
Like them.
And Becky, you had a spot on. I mean, you really did, because it's kind of like it's not blaming a certain person. It's more of like, hey, someone's doing wrong. We got
right. That's right.
And it's a whole ethical conundrum. And I really did enjoy it.
I like the women protecting women. It fills your heart where you're like, there's murder and they're killing guys and feminist things.
Whatever.
It's murder, but like they're besties and I love it.
But you want some biscuits and gravy?
Yeah.
Like,
they'll do whatever they can and they'll fight for their friends and they'll fight for their companions and other women. And they stuck together, and I really enjoyed that.
I'm all up for that. I'm all up for that. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I will poison someone's egg.
I was like, it was extreme back then, but I agree with you, Sophia, though.
We don't have to now because we have other avenues. What, Lauren? I'm sorry.
There's other avenues. Caroline was probably she was a little iffy with me because me and you, Sophia, I feel like we both don't like characters at the same time. But at the end, she redeemed herself with her husband, because I really thought she was going to go back with her husband. Oh, God. And I was like, if she goes
back with him, I swear to God, I want to just snatch her bulb.
I barely even remember him in the book. I barely remember him.
He was a whiner.
I just wanted to punch him in the face, her husband. Like, how dare you, sir?
He tried to.
Oh, he's the one. He had the affair, and then she said, get it. And then he started coming back and.
But then he tried to throw the affair in her face, and it's like,
that's right. And then he took the stuff on purpose orally when she told him not to, so that he'd get a little bit sick and she'd feel bad for him. And I'm like, oh, I hate you.
He poisoned himself on purpose just so he can be like, pity me, like, oh, woe is
like
me,
you to pieces.
Like,
now that's all coming back to me how that worked, and you wrote that very well too, because. This kind of happened, and then this kind of happened, and this kind of happened, and then all of a sudden, all these little tiny incidences came together, like right, like well, we found this in your room, and we found this diary, and we found this, and we're like, wait, that was innocent.
She was doing research. Knock it out.
Right.
Level.
I was like, I read that part. I was like, that does not look good for Caroline.
All right. But thank goodness Janar came in and said, oh, wait a minute. You know what?
Yeah, she was doing it, and I'm like, you got her.
Right. And then takes her out and goes like, so what? Did you poison the guy or what?
Girl power.
But it was just to the point where I did enjoy the book just because it was a different twist in a storyline, because it did the past and the present, kind of like Memento did. I love Memento as a movie. That's one of my
I need to watch it again. I haven't watched that forever.
It's been a while.
And the whole storyline about the apothecary.
Oh, hold on. I think Devin's yeah, Devin.
I told her we were still going.
Girl power.
I'm so sorry. I was like, then I picked the book and I'm not even here.
That's okay. You can come and join us. Hi.
Hey.
How
good. How are you?
But I think that the whole book was, get that Lego out of my face. And the whole book was,
Devin this new Lego.
It was kind of like a sisterhood story, because even though it was two women that were in the Victorian era and one woman that was in present time, you had the whole understanding of like, I understood what they did. And Caroline was even cheering for them, which is in the end, she's like cheering for them. Like she was upset thinking that the person died or whatever and this and that. And that to me was kind of like the whole sisterhood story. It's like, okay, we got this. We got you. We understand what you did this. I got
and
you.
I think Caroline even added too, because she's going to use the apothecary, like discovering it, to going back to school, going to Cambridge.
Yeah,
right.
Dissertation.
Because
she actually decided to keep Eliza as a secret, like as like, no, I'm not gonna out your secret, girl. Like I'm cool. And she threw the vial back into the river, and I thought that was pretty neat.
Oh my
God, I thought that was very powerful.
when she threw the vial back, I'm like, no.
I know. I
like that Titanic, like the necklace back into the ocean. I was like, goodbye.
No, not that.
But it was like I understood, because like, oh God. But this storyline, this whole book, crushed my heart in some places, but made it like Grinch. Was it 10 times larger? Whatever.
3 times. His heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Yes. Even though I hate the Grinch, but still, I also have problems with Scooby-Doo. That's another storyline. But I really did enjoy this book. I would give it, out of 5 stars,
4. So Demi, earlier we all agreed that like we like Eliza the best.
Yeah.
And we hate the husband.
All men in the book they ain't shit.
Yeah, they were all terrible. Like all of them.
All of them.
And I loved how, for some reason, I cannot think of the main apothecary's name, but Nella. Yeah, I loved how Nella was like so against like harming women. She only wanted to make potions if it was gonna like kill a dude. Like when she was so upset when she found out that one lady wanted to use it for her husband's mistress. She's like, no, I don't care if she's sleeping with him. Your husband's wrong. Like, like it's his fault.
Well, part of me was like, crush the beetle.
Yeah,
like, but that's kind of me. I have anger issues, but still,
I both of them. But yeah, I thought that was admirable of her.
Scootaloo, take half of the, but back then there was no half for women. There was no rights for women. There was nothing.
Well, that's the point. That was the point. This is desperate acts for desperate times.
Yeah. And I did understand putting it historically back in there, but I did enjoy the book just because the whole storyline was cool, with the two characters in one point with their ideologies and their viewpoints and whatever. And then our modern person is taking her views and putting it there along with what she's dealing with her husband, who it is or whatever. But it was a very interesting book. I did enjoy it. I did really think it was a fun storyline. It got me hooked. Like
I liked it. I really liked it.
And I did the audiobook.
That was a good choice.
Most people think if you do an audiobook, it's not reading, but
I know, I'm doing that now. So I've been walking the PT guy because my back is so screwed up. He doesn't want me exercising on land, basically. Like no walking for exercise on the sidewalk, but he wants me in the pool. So I go walking in the pool for like 45 minutes at a time. Well, let me tell you, you can only go back and forth in a pool because otherwise you're in the deep end. Yeah. So it is super boring. So I like downloaded some audiobooks, and that's what I do now is I'm listening to audiobooks while I walk in the pool, which I will do in a little while because I don't care what hour it is. I'll just go walk. But so now I'm kind of getting into the audiobook thing. If you've ever listened to Harry Potter on audiobook, it's a whole other experience.
Is it?
Reading them and listening to them, it's amazing, and they're fantastic on audiobook.
My mother-in-law, who passed away, got the audiobook of the first Harry Potter book for my daughter when she was 5 and gave her the book to read along.
Oh, yeah.
She formed an addiction that was really expensive when you have 2 kids reading Harry Potter at one time.
Right.
And they all want the same book when it comes out.
Of course they do.
$26 a pop.
Yes.
But
no, that's tough.
I stood in line, I pre-ordered and everything because my kids need to read. But with this whole book, it was really cool. I think it was fun. I think it was, I got some good recipes out of it too.
Yeah, there is recipes. If you were reading the book, there's recipes in the back of the book.
Right.
But real quick, just because I want to, for Devin, if you want to kind of like give like a little bit of like a viewpoint on the book, because this was your book that you picked out. Well, it was like the list of books and we all kind of picked out, but it was really good. Like what you felt about this book, just so because you can get you caught up a little bit.
So I honestly was like rooting. I picked 3 choices and I was like, I don't know. So I like the other 2 were like more in like my genre of books that I normally go for. But I was kind of rooting, hoping that people would pick this book because maybe it would get me to read it. Because I kept like looking for books and then like I kept seeing it and I'm like, this really doesn't intrigue me. Like I'm not interested in reading this. But I kept seeing it and I'm like, okay, like there's a reason why I keep seeing this. Like obviously somebody wants me to read this book. So yeah, I really thought it was interesting. Like the whole dynamic between like the present and the past and this like tragedy of this, this lady finding out her husband cheats on her and then she goes on this like whole adventure that she never expected to. And like just the whole like these women who have no clue who the other person is. Well, of course, like Noah and Liza, like they were able to connect through this story. One thing that I was like one thing that I thought was crazy. I'm like, how did this apothecary make it through like construction and all this stuff? I'm like, that's kind of unbelievable. I'm like, but still, I mean, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I was like, that's kind of far-fetched. But everything else, I'm like, wow. Like, I don't know. I was just like, every time I thought like I knew where it was gonna go. Obviously, there was a twist. I think for me, the biggest twist was, of course, Eliza being alive. That's probably like everybody. And then when James, Caroline's husband, pretty much admitted that he drank those essential oils on purpose, and I'm like, okay, really? Be in the hospital and suffer by yourself because now you just don't like you just don't.
Yeah, I was like,
investigated for possible murder.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what I thought was really interesting about that is here she was doing all this research about these people who did away with the husbands with the potions, right? And she's like thinking, what an interesting solution. And she's like almost up with it, with the solution. And then the husband, who she was not happy with, almost dies. And she's like, oh, wait a minute. that's not in fact what I want to do. Like,
yeah, I think the crime lover in you was like,
even though she wanted to send him on his way when he looked like he was going to die, she was like, "Oh no, I don't want that."
Yeah, but I'm glad that she didn't end up going back with him. Like, I think where it should have.
I was like, "Walk away, girl."
Yeah. I'm glad she walked away. If she didn't, and I was saying that earlier, Devin, I was like, if she didn't, I would have been like, nope, I would have dropped the book. I was like, I'm sorry.
Like maybe I get it. Like, let me like take care of you while you're sick or whatever, and then like, especially being like framed for murder. But it's like, okay, you did this to yourself, buddy. Like, no, go back home. Go sleep with another secretary. Like, bye.
Can we make this like a saying? Like, you drank the eucalyptus. This is on you. So that will be like your fault. You drank the eucalyptus. This is you.
Right.
I agree with you on that one, Devin, too, about like the apothecary surviving 200 years. I thought that the author was going to like lead that somewhere, like their lineage like kept it, and they like, but she never anywhere. Like, I was like, oh, maybe they kept on going like a secret apothecary like all these years.
But it could be. They left the door open.
It could be. They did. They left the door open for like another book, like if she wanted to, but like everything was just like dusted over. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, like no one built over it. I know that she was talking to the utilities guy in the alleyway when she got scared when she first saw it, and she was asking questions, and he said something about the lines of like, oh, the property owners don't want to do development there. And I was like, why not?
I was like thinking, oh, this is going on because they're protecting the name of the women. So that's where I got to, but there's an open door there that might continue on, but I would like to see where it goes. But it was a fun book. It really was a fun book, and it kind of helped me during a boring spell.
Yeah.
And not really a boring spell. It's more like a treasury, but still, I did enjoy it. I did have fun with it, and I'm waiting to see what we're going to do next. Because
originally, when you gave the 3 choices and I read the synopses, I actually picked a different one. I was like, I don't know about that one, and then I saw that everybody had really picked this one, and so I changed it. I'm like, okay, I'll go with it. But
I've also read Verity too. That was one on the list, and
I picked that up this weekend.
Let me tell you guys, that one's crazy.
Okay. You know what, Devin? I'm gonna read that book, and we should probably do a book club on that one, like a sub book club. If anybody wants to read it.
Yeah, I might like browse through it again. Like, it took me like I think less like a day and a half to read. Like, I was just like I could not put it down. Like,
really,
it was
like good, or is it out there?
It's out there. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I heard that the author, Colleen Hoover, she's really good, and that Verity was really good. I picked that up. And then her other book, It Ends With Us, a lot of people were talking about that book as well. So I'm going to actually read Verity.
Yeah. Because I have one Wine Club member that's a bookshop owner, and she's been giving me all these recommendations. And so I have quite a list when it comes to my turn.
Ooh. I know that it's Vanessa's turn, but she's been busy. I'm going to reach out to her and say, hey, because we're starting the rotation all over again. I'm going to say if she wanted to do the book club or if she has time to pick the book. If not,
my wine got warm.
Look at her. Oh,
warm white wine. Oh God.
If not, Sophia, then I'll just do. I'll let you know that you can pick a book too for the.
I picked the steamy ones.
Oh, I love the steamy ones.
That's good.
Because I got that one about the husbands of I can't remember the name. That it's about this Hollywood actress that wants to. It reminds me of the whole synopsis reminds me of 13 Tale, and it's about a woman that was a Hollywood actress that arrived to Hollywood in the 1950s, quit the business in '83, and it's like her 7 husbands, and she wants somebody to write her story. That was one of them. I did try and sneak that 5 in about the 5 women that were killed by Jack the Ripper, but that was a little dark. But we're gonna figure it out.
All right, sounds good.
I'm reading one now called The Nightingale.
Oh.
That somebody gave me, and it's about these two women who are sisters in World War II in France, and they both like do different things for the war effort. And it's based, one of the gals is based on an actual nurse in France, I think, who helped soldiers get out. But I'm about a third of the way through. I don't know how it's gonna wind up, but it's good so far.
So like, what is everyone's? We're gonna start with Lauren. What's your view on this book?
I enjoyed this book. I like the three storytellers. I like how they jump back and forth. At the time, it was refreshing. It was very women for women book. So I do rate this book, and it was a really easy short read for me. I thought so. It wasn't too thick, you know. It's definitely, if you're a dude reading this book, I don't know if they'll like it, but you know, women, I think women will love it.
Start screaming in fear.
I love Drake's like, we'll start screaming in fear. This is my son.
You should.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't treat women right, Drake. As long as you treat women right, you'll be good. You'll be fine.
Hell have no
good.
I enjoyed this one. Thank you for picking this one out, Devin. I like this one a lot.
I did too.
And I've seen it too, but I didn't want to pick it up either because I'm like stuck on my like Verity, like smutty kind of books, which is I'm not ashamed to admit it. I love me some smutty books, and this was really refreshing. I was like, oh, okay, I like it.
And I've been reading, like, I bought Circe, which is like the big.
Oh, I want to read that one too. Yeah.
And that's a good one. But I started reading The Witch's Heart, but then we had to start reading this book. And I'm like, okay, I'll leave The Witch's Heart because, you know, I love my Loki.
Yeah. I have The Witch's Heart, I have Verity, and I have It Ends With Us. Like, literally all these, I have like 7 books that I need to read.
What is the one, The House Over the Cliff or some weird?
The House Over the Cerulean Sea?
Yeah.
I think? Yeah.
What is everyone losing their crap over that?
I have that book too.
And I'm just like, why is everyone losing this shit over this book?
Yeah, what really is that book?
Everyone's like losing it on the summer as a reading list, and I'm like, is there free sandwiches? I mean,
I guess it's like they were like the modern day, like it has a Harry Potter vibe to it, but not so like Harry Potter, you know, ish. It's like a magic based book. But a lot of people said it was very refreshing. I'll put a picture on our group page of like the popular books that are out, and so if you want to take a look.
And I did my homework, so like whenever it's my list, you got 5 books waiting for you.
Oh my!
So, and they're all mostly, you know, I love my murder mysteries.
I'm hooked on those. Yeah.
Murder.
Our suspense murder mystery. Yeah, we like those.
I know.
No, but I'll probably reach out to you, Devin, once I'm done reading Verity because I'm really excited to read that one. So.
Okay, yeah, I read another Colleen Hoover book too. It was called Too Late. Wasn't that big of a fan of that one, but there is a main character named Asa, which I thought was funny.
Oh, really?
But he's like not like our Asa. He's
our Asa. I'm here at Cassidy's house actually.
Yeah. Oh,
where's she at?
Yeah, I'll be excited to hear what you think of that one.
Yeah, I'll probably read it and then I'll reach out, and then if anybody else reads it, we can kind of do like a little sub book club. Oh, there's Cassidy Bishop.
Cassidy!
What's up, girl?
She's popping her hair.
Hope your dog's okay, buddy.
Okay, so I like to shout out what
good. He's just
are we listening to right now?
What? Oh, what are we listening to? She can't hear.
What podcast are you listening to? Everyone.
Yeah.
Anyone?
All right. She says she loves you guys. We're at Girl Power. I'm at my friend's house.
The podcast I listen to the most is 10-Minute Murders.
Me and Cassidy will listen to My Favorite Murder.
Yeah, that's
Lore and one. Cabinet of Curiosities, and also Deathbed Confessions is my new favorite.
Deathbed Confessions. That sounds fun. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining book club.
Good to see you all.
Bye.
Drake.
I'll reach out to whoever's next. I'll reach out to Vanessa, and then we'll post what the next book is. But I'll reach and talk to you girls later.
All right.
Cheers with my monster.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.